Hello class, receiving students and teachers.
Hello, Miss Sora.
Thank you, take your seats. In our last lesson, we carried out some activities to do with sounds, and you were to identify the different forms of energy that are used to produce sound. Let's go on to our recapping question on the screen. Class, looking up at the question on the screen, I'd like someone to compare the change of energy between the radio and the model of the guitar. In your last lesson, we made a model of a guitar, and you answered questions relating to this model. I also showed you a radio, and we looked at the change of energy or different forms of energy involved in producing the music from the radio. And here you used a guitar. I'd like you to tell me, or in other words, tell me the different forms of energy used between the two, the radio and the model of the guitar. You plucked on the string, what energy was that? Or from the radio? Thank you, Joshua. Receiving students, tell your teacher.
Sound energy.
Again?
Sound energy.
All right, before sound energy was produced, which material are you referring to? The model of the guitar or the radio?
Guitar.
All right, so guitar, what energy was first used? To produce sound, like you were plucking on the strings like this. What is that form of energy described
Rubber
as?
band. Rubber band.
Sorry? Stand.
Elastic energy.
Elastic energy, good, try. Shannon?
Kinetic energy.
All right. Joshua, you are not wrong, but to be more general, we start off with kinetic energy, which is movement energy. Now your fingers are doing the action, they are moving, and the strings are now vibrating. All right. From kinetic energy, what is produced? What is that form of energy called? Sound energy is produced. Whereas the radio, how many forms of energy are involved? Jubilee? Students, tell your teacher.
3 energies.
All right, can you name them for us, please?
Chemical energy, electrical energy, and sound energy.
Very good. Is it correct, class? Okay, receiving students, I hope you have the same answers as the model class. Now, you were also given homework, a homework to complete. Let's have a look at that homework, and it's in a table form. I've already given you the answers. I'd like you to just check through your work and see if you have them written correctly. If you have any questions, please raise your hand up and tell me. Right, let's look at beating a kundu drum. The type of energy used, kinetic energy. You imagine yourself beating the kundu drum, your hand is moving. Okay, and then what is next? Sound energy is produced. So sound is produced, and that sound comes as a form of energy. Electrical whistling kettle, we have electric energy flowing through the cables into the cord and to the jug, and hits the water in the whistling kettle. That's heat energy produced. And when the water starts to boil, the jug begins to whistle. As a result of that, sound is produced. Some forms of energy are used to change into sound energy. All right, receiving teachers, we are on the same strand, substrand, and our outcome is 7.3.3. Class, our topic for today is on the property of sound energy. All right, property of sound energy. Everyone sitting up straight, so as the the receiving class, model class up straight. I'd like you all to put your pointer, do this, pointer and a tall man. All right, everyone should be doing this, putting your biros down. Placing these two fingers where your throat is. Okay, not too hard, just gently place it where your throat is, and I'd like you to say ha. Again, 1, 2. All right, good. Take your fingers out. Now, let's see. What did you see? Again, let's put our fingers over our throat, and this time you observe your desk mate for the model receiving students, model class, your table mates, and try to watch their throat. Again, let's go. 1, 2, ha. Ha. All right. Now, what did you see while you said ha? Hands up, please. Clement.
You can feel your throat vibrating.
Okay, you feel your throat vibrating. All right, what caused your throat to move? Okay, sound. What is the correct term to use to describe those tubes in your throat? I'm not asking about the energy. Okay, Beckley?
Esophagus.
Oh, he says esophagus vibrated. That as a result of that caused the sound. Good try. Thank you. Thank you, Beckley. Receiving students, I hope you're telling your teacher. Last one, let's have a try from this side. Shannon, you would like to try again?
Vocal cord.
Oh, Cullen has another answer. Thank you, Cullen.
Pitch.
Pitch. All right, we have two answers, pitch and vocal cords. What do you think? Okay, who goes for vocal cords? Who goes for pitch? Are we listening? Nobody? So, the material that vibrated in your throat is your vocal cords. And your vocal cords vibrated, creating the sound. All right, creating your voice. And your voice has been heard by the other person, which is your ear that sensed, or your ear detected the sound that came out from your mouth, right? So, can we say that sound travels through air? Yes or no? Yes. Can sound travel through air? All right, we will leave the answer as that. Our answer is yes or no. All right? So, today's activity, we are going to carry out 2 different experiments, and you are going to try to prove whether sound can travel through air or not. Right? These are the materials needed for today's lesson. Receiving teachers, rubber bands, nails, tin cans. You're going to use those tin cans as drums, coffee jars, plastics, paper clips, tuning fork, dish of water, pieces of paper, foams, fork and spoon. In your teacher's guide and worksheet book, you will find that activity on pages 43 and 44 of your student's workbook. And for the teacher's resource book, you will find that exercise or that activity in page 109 to 112. We are not going to use all those workstations. We are going to use only 2 workstations. At your own time, receiving teachers, do complete the activities for the other workstations. Now, the materials that we will be using in today's lesson are in yellow: tin cans as drums, tuning fork, bowl or dish of water, pieces of papers or foam. A3 paper, A4 paper is also on that list. Model class, you know what I have said to you earlier on. This exercise is going to be assessed. At the end of the lesson, I am going to collect your books for marking. All right, let's go through the instructions for today's activity, class. But before that, our aim for today's activity is look at how sound travels through different materials. And having in mind, can sound travel through air? Right, these are the questions that you are going to answer, which I am going to collect at the end of the lesson. And these questions are also in your workbook. For the students with the workbook, you are to refer to workstation 1 and workstation 3. The other workstations, you leave them out. All right. Receiving teachers, please copy this question for your students. Model class, I'd like you to read through the questions and try to understand what these questions are all about. All right, let's go on to instruction number 1 for workstation 1. Workstation 1, you are to use drums, a drum with pieces of paper on the top or foams. This is what you will do. You will cut some tiny pieces of paper or use foams and put them on a clean A4 paper. One student holds a sheet of paper above the drum, 5 centimeters apart, and the other uses the drum. So this is what you will be doing. Watching carefully. Bring those two things in. Yellow paper. Okay, I am going to use the foams. Kalen, please, can you help me? Come and hold on to the sheet of paper. Stand up. Face the camera. Hold the paper. Face the camera. Okay, I am going to use this tin as a drum to demonstrate. This is what you're going to do. Now you have your A4 paper. You can either use foams or tiny pieces of paper cut. Okay, with your 2 hands hold it. Yeah, okay. Now he holds it like this. This is Kalen. You will have another student, which is, I'm going to demonstrate, so that's me, the teacher. About 5 centimeters apart, the drum and the paper. And this is what I am going to do. I am going to beat the drum as hard as I can. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you will do that. It's very simple, and you try to find out what happens. Even though the drum is not close to the paper, but something is happening to the poems or the pieces of papers. How can you explain that? All right. That's to do with the drum and the piece of paper. Enough. All right. That's for workstation number 1. Workstation number 2, this is what you will do. You will gently strike the tuning fork on the pad and then face it down and put part of it into the dish of water. All right, as you can see there, pass it over here, the tuning fork. This is a tuning fork, right? This is what you're going to do. Gently remove the tuning fork. Strike the tuning fork on the pad, meaning hit it on the pad, and put part of it into the water. Not all of it into the water, just part of it into the water, and you observe what happens. One person in the group to do that, and the others observe. We have only one striking stick here, so as soon as you finish here, you pass it to the other group. So one group use a tuning fork here, the other try that out. Okay, for the receiving students, if you don't have tuning forks with you, you will observe with the model class and follow in order to answer those questions given to you earlier on. All right, I'm going to give you 3 minutes each to do that because we are going to change. We are going to rotate and go to the other workstation. All right, spread the papers out. You have 2 tins, so you should all be observing maybe this group, this side here. You can divide yourself to observe this one, this activity. You observe that one on that side. You can use that drum. Yes. Okay. Loud, loud. Stand up, stand up. No, others may want to see. You stand, Joshua. Well, everybody watching what happens to the poems. In the middle, place it in the middle. Okay, pass it as soon as you finish. No, they can use another one. Remove that one. Wait. Give me that blue. Everyone must have a feel of holding the tuning fork. Be careful. Okay, Shannon, I think you had enough. Pass it on to the others. Yes, some of you here as well. Try it out. Have a feel. Have a feel. Strike and pass it. The others, you write your answers down. Once you finish striking, pass the pad here. Quickly, Clement. The other students are waiting here. The pad. Jason, try. Jason, sorry, JJ. put on the policia. And then go on to this voice. You try it out. Go on, policia. What do you hear? What do you see? You write it there. What did you hear? Okay? Okay, give it to the boys on this side. And then you give it to the girls on that side to try. Okay? Don't get carried away. Remember, you have your questions to answer. Okay, good. Hurry up. And then you pass it on. Okay, pass that to the girls then. No, not the tuning fork then. All right, I'm going to stop you very shortly. What did you see? What did you hear? Okay. What caused the material to move? In this case, the water. Okay. Okay. And what type of object is the sound traveling through? Okay. Hello? All right. We will now stop. Everybody to your corners as I have described earlier on. The students with the drums, stop drumming. Put them away. With your books. Group station 1 and station 2 to your corners quickly. Station 1, that corner. Sorry, station 1, that corner, station 2, that corner. Quickly, and we are ready to rotate. Is that striking? Where is that striking? Hurry up. Not yet, don't move yet. I didn't ask you to move, I asked you to just stay where your corners are. This corner. Samuel, are you using your head? Please move. Okay, we are still waiting. All right, are we ready now? Quickly. You may now move to those tables. 2 stations. Put. I colored the toilet roll. Take this one out. You can use the toilet roll. Let's see. You cut it into pieces. Put in paper, go down. Cut it. All right. What is the instruction like? Gently strike the tuning fork on the pad and then face it down and put part of it into the dish. This is what you do. Remove it. Pull it out. Just pull it out. Give me that striking stick. Then you strike on the pen and place it, part of it into the water, and you observe what happens. When you want to stop it, you hold on to it. Okay, let's try with you. Stand up, stand. Again. Sit on to. Every student should have a feel of it. Pass next one. Kalian. Okay, once you finish, you pass it on. No, put some away, just get feel. Not all of it, okay, go. Pass that tin, tell them to pass that tin there. Bring that tin. You try using that tin. Okay, that one. Yeah. Strong. Something like that. Don't touch the paper. Now leave that water there. You use that one. You use the one down there. Again. Alright, so I'll stop you very shortly. Make sure you answer the questions in those different group stations. Stand up. Yeah. Again. Again. Pass it on to this side. Let the girls try that. Finished? Okay, good. Good. Okay, pass it on. One try only because there are many students waiting. Okay, Evelyn, move on. Quickly, you had your turn already. Quickly. Okay. Use that one. Pass. No, just pull it out. Okay, go. Okay, give it back. Beckley, your turn. Beckley. Emmanuel. Move it up. Move the dish up. Okay, the others who have your 10 already, you write down your answers. Okay, which girl did not try? Did you try Momoru? Okay, pass the, no, tuning fork, come back. No, that stick, bring it back, yes. Pull. Bring the bucket. Bucket come. Use the bucket. Don't hit the cloth. One more. Thank you. All right. I hope you all have answered the questions relating to those two experiments that we have just seen or carried out in the model class. The bucket is already broken. Bucket is broken. All right. So I hope you all are satisfied with what you have done in each of those two different stations, workstations, and you are now working on the questions. Let's go back to our questions again. Listening, paying attention. Question 1, you should write, what did you see? I will be checking your books to see or to look for answers for what did you see in both of those two experiments that you have carried out in those two different workstations. Next thing, what did you hear? Did you hear anything while beating the drum and striking the tuning fork? What caused the materials to move? In this case, what caused the water to move? And in here, what caused the tiny pieces of paper or the foams to move? Right. And the last one, what type of object is the sound traveling through? Is it traveling through the air, water, or is it traveling through your body? Right, we'll go through all those questions in our next lesson. For the model class, I expect you to complete answering those questions now for me to mark. All right, so today's lesson again, going back to our answer, trying to find out, can sound travel through air? We said yes and no. Can someone now confirm with us through these two experiments that we have carried out? Can sound travel through air? Yes or no? Yes. All right, it can travel through the air. Like the drum, if the drum was not close to the paper, it was away from the paper, but sound traveled, the vibrating drum made sound, and sound traveled through the air, touching onto the paper, causing those little bits and pieces of paper or the foam to move. All right? What about the tuning fork? It was vibrating. Once it was put into the water, okay, you saw water splashing and spreading out like ripples. That demonstrates that sound can also travel, okay, travel in the air and into the water. Let's have a look at our summary for today's lesson. There are only 2 points. sound is caused by vibrations, and sound can travel through air. All right, it shouldn't take you long to copy the summary down. The summary points are very short. You can ask your friends to copy from them. Let's have a look at our homework. I have one homework for you to do, 2 questions to complete. Can sound travel through solid and liquid? And explain how you can prove that. You can discuss with your classmates or your big brothers and sisters at home, or your parents, if possible, to help you do this homework. Key phrase for today: energy can create sound. Next lesson, how does sound travel? And these are the materials that I want you to bring: tin cans or plastic cups, strings or cotton or needle. We are going to make a model of a telephone. Right? Have you made a model of a telephone before? All right, so we are going to do that and answer questions. Receiving students, I hope you have done one already. In our next lesson, those are the materials that we will need. With that, thank you class for your participation in today's lesson.